In this video, we're going to talk about the product development process. Specifically, what we're thinking about is how does a person or how does a firm, how do they come up with a new product? When we see some product A, and we see that on the shelves in a store, how did that get there? What was the process? What was the steps that took place in that firm before that product was actually launched? So let's get into this. So it all starts with the idea. Now, the idea can come a number of ways. When you think of something like the pet rock, there was just a guy just having a conversation with a friend. So it could be some friend mentioned something to you. But if we're talking more about like a firm, then we're thinking like maybe customers said something. Customers might have filled out some kind of comment card and said, you know, it'd be really nice if you offered this kind of product. It might be suppliers that mentioned something. It might be that the firm does some kind of market research. They go ahead and they hire some firm to do some research and to survey people in the community and say, well, what are your needs? What would you really like? You kind of find out what people want, and then you go ahead and you set about giving it to them. And you might notice some kind of trends or different things or changes in society. Anything could prompt this idea. So it doesn't have to come from a specific place, and it's kind of an organic thing. Let's say, for example, you do some research. This firm does some research, or they talk to some customers, and let's go with an example here. Let's say they come up with gluten-free food. They say, you know what? We've done a lot of research. You've got a supermarket. You've got a supermarket, and they've done a lot of research, and they find that people just are really unhappy that they just don't feel there's enough gluten-free foods in their supermarkets. So you're going to go ahead as the firm, you're the supermarket, and you say, you know what? We've got an idea here. We've got an idea. Some customers and some research has given us an idea. Maybe we could start offering some gluten-free food products. But now it's just, you don't just say, okay, we've got an idea and you throw it on the store shelves. There's a little bit more involved of a process than that. So, well, what happens next? Okay, well, once you've got the idea down, now you want to kind of go from an idea to an actual concept. This is something where you go from, okay, we just brainstormed and said gluten-free food. Okay, well, specifically, what kind of gluten-free food? Is there a specific type? Are we talking about snacks here? Are we talking about meals? Are we talking about everything? Exactly what? Let's flesh out this idea, and let's put a little more meat on the bones here and see what's going on. And so how can we do this? Well, we might solicit even more feedback. So we kind of got this idea from customers or research or whatever, but we can also say, well, let's start doing some focus groups. So we take our idea, we build it into more of a concept, and then we take that concept and we start getting focus groups. Now, what is a focus group? Well, we just take a group of people. It could be our customers. Maybe they're not our customers. Maybe they're people we'd like to be our customers. We just take this group of people and we set them in a room and we just kind of have, a company or someone from our company actually go and just, ask some questions. Say, well, here's kind of what we're thinking. We've got this concept. How do you respond to it? What do you think of a gluten-free food snack? What do you think of a gluten-free food dinner? And you kind of get more feedback. So you've kind of built your idea out a little bit into a concept, and then now you want feedback about that concept. So you get like focus groups, or you do surveys, or something like that. So you start with the idea, you build it into a concept, but ultimately, if things are still going well at this point, if this idea is still seeming like, okay, we built it into a concept and we're making progress, well, now maybe we need a prototype. So prototype, we're just actually, a prototype is kind of like a rough build. This is something that, this is like our initial product. Right now, this isn't necessarily the thing that's going to go on store shelves. This is just a very rough stage. Maybe we put together a few gluten-free food samples or something. It's kind of like a sample, just like a test. A sample or test of what this product could be. So we just put together a couple rough things of some snacks or some chips or something. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we just kind of get an idea and then we go, and now we've got a prototype that we can actually show. We can show to people, we can show to customers. and get additional feedback. So everything starts, with the idea. You move to the concept. At some point, if it's still looking good, then you build a prototype, kind of an initial stage of what your product might look like. In this case, gluten-free food. Would it be a candy bar that's gluten-free or something? But if everything continues going well and you continue getting good feedback, then you're going to move into actual product development. Now this is where you're taking the prototype. Now you're refining the prototype. You're saying, okay, well, we had this prototype, it's kind of rough, and now we're actually going to build a real product. So you're refining this prototype into something a lot better. This was kind of like the more finished version. You're actually going ahead now, and you're going to make a lot of them, because it's looking like, okay, well, at this point, we think that we're actually going to go and start distributing this product and everything. So we need to move beyond this prototype stage. We need to go past that and get a more finished product, something that we can actually distribute. So this is the point where you're actually manufacturing or putting this together, or starting to manufacture this, or getting the process going. You have to actually build. This is the build set. In a prototype, we're just kind of getting the rough idea what this thing might look like, and putting together some rough copies or some rough samples, but now we're actually building the finished product. So now that we've got our product, do we just dump it in store shelves everywhere we can? Well, we could do that, but another thing we could do is we could say, well, let's do some test marketing. So test marketing, maybe we're just going to pick a specific region, maybe just one region, maybe just one particular state or something. So you pick a region, and this region is a subsample of the region you ultimately would like to roll your product out into. So this is kind of like a small area where you're going to roll out this product initially. So you're going to take this finished product, and now you're going to put it in this small area in a few stores, and you're just going to see what happens. Just like all stages of this process, you're getting additional feedback. So if you go ahead and you put this out, here's the advantage of doing this. Instead of just rolling it out in every single city possible immediately, you can kind of see if there are any design flaws, or if consumers are maybe getting hurt or something. Then you haven't already committed and rolled it out in every city. You still have time to fix it. Or time to pull it if maybe there's just some kind of problem that can't be fixed. So you're kind of minimizing your risk a little bit here by just saying, well, we're just going to go at a small area and see what happens, and just kind of test this product that we've developed and see how it goes. And then if the test marketing goes well, then you get to something that we're going to call launch, product launch. Now this is wherever your target market is, or the retail stores that you want this product to be in, it goes everywhere. So you launch this product and you send it everywhere. Now by everywhere, I'm saying not necessarily everywhere in the world, but everywhere you want it to be. Well, everywhere that you are thinking. All the retail stores, everything that was part of the plan. Oh, I apologize there. Everything that was part of the plan, you get this product out, you put it in all the restore shelves, you start stocking shelves with your product. You get this thing out there. So that's the product launch. At the product launch stage, you still might be gathering some feedback, but more so what you're doing now is you're doing advertising. You're doing advertising at launch, and you're probably doing a lot of advertising at launch. And you're doing the distribution, right? You're getting trucks or whatever you have to do to get this product into stores, stock those shelves. So you're doing all these things. This happens at the final stage here. Now notice that we don't just immediately go to launch after an idea. Well, there are a lot of reasons why there's this whole process, and why this process is very important. Because it's very expensive for a company to launch a product. This costs a lot of money, not just building the product, but we also think of like the brand. Maybe this firm has a lot of other products, and there's a very important brand, and if you just go ahead and launch something because you think it's a good idea, that might dilute your brand value. That might cause some damage to the other products. People might start to think, they offered this awful product. Well, what is going on with this firm? So it's very expensive, not just paying cash to build and manufacture a product, but also there could be some damage to the brand. A lot of things can go wrong if this product doesn't go well. So what you want to do is you want to follow this process, and at each stage of the process, you're getting feedback. When you come up with the idea, you brainstorm, and then you kind of you get an idea about the concept of these focus groups. You get some feedback. You get the prototype. People get to feel the product, taste it if it's food, see what it's like, what it could be like. And then you actually start building the thing, and maybe there's some design problems or whatever. And then you get into the test marketing, and those design flaws are kind of come up, and you get some more feedback about how you can tweak the product. And then ultimately you launch the product and do all your advertising and distribution and hope that it sells.